You would never completely ignore a call or an email from a customer, or at least I hope you wouldn't. So stay tuned to find out about the importance of getting back to them sooner rather than later. Hi, Shep Hyken here, customer service and experience expert. And today I'm going to share the importance of getting back to your customers as soon as possible. Now, sometimes the most common sense customer service tips are the most important. A while back, I was talking to my lawyer about the client service I experienced from him and his firm. And it was evident that he was truly interested in my feedback. Now, my response was simple. I just have one complaint. I wish you'd respond quicker to my phone calls and my emails. Now, many times he would take several days to respond to both my phone calls and my emails. For what I was paying him, I felt I should be given a little bit better level of service. Well, it turns out that I wasn't the only one who felt that way. Upon surveying clients of law firms, one of the common complaints is a slow response. It wasn't long after that chat with my lawyer that I was hired to speak at a large law firm's partner retreat. There were almost 500 lawyers in attendance. The client in the firm who hired me asked me to go over my notes just before the speech. One of the areas I emphasized was a quick response time, specifically to phone calls. He asked me to take that section out. His explanation was that it was too basic and would potentially cause the audience to lose interest over information that was so rudimentary. Now, the speaker who was just before me happened to be their #1 client who worked at a company in Washington, D.C. and did millions of dollars each year in business with this law firm. He talked about how great the law firm was, and then he opened it up for questions. Are you ready for this? The first question from one of the attorneys in the audience was, can you tell us something that we could do to make your experience with us better? Now, without hesitation, the client said, return my phone calls faster. Well, I glanced over at my client, and he had this petrified look on his face. He looked at me and he whispered, maybe you should put the part about a quick response to phone call and emails back into the speech. Well, I smiled and I gave him the thumbs up. Here was a law firm that charged hundreds of dollars per hour for their work. Their clients were willing to pay this, adding up to millions of dollars a year. And the first thought that came to the mind of the client when asked how to improve the experience was a basic common sense idea. Just return calls quicker. I can't emphasize this simple concept enough. Customers want to know that you're focused on them. Taking 3 days to call someone back shows a lack of focus, if not a lack of concern for the customer, whether it's true or not. So there's nothing fancy to teach for today's customer service lesson. Nothing technical or difficult. Nothing that really takes practice or role playing. It's just simple, common sense, a tactic that shows you that you're paying attention to your customer, and that's just to call them back in a reasonable period of time. Not 3 days, not 2 days, but ideally this same day, maybe even within a few hours if you're available. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short lesson. Please be sure to visit my website, which is www.hyken.com. There you'll find more information about my speaking programs, as well as hundreds of customer service articles that you can read and share with your colleagues. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is Shep Hyken, reminding you to always be amazing.